Applying for scholarship can be difficult, but is it rocket science? I don't think so. As far as some people have done it, I think you can do it too. Let's get our reasons right. Let's write down exactly why we want to study abroad. Why do you want to study outside? It's kind of a benign question, as if it doesn't make sense. But trust me, I've been there a couple of times, and I know what I'm talking about. You need to have your reasons. People are motivated to travel outside for different reasons. For some people, for some degree holders, it's just that they don't have enough opportunities in their country. Maybe they are in Nigeria, they are in Kenya, they are in Ghana. They've completed their degree. They've completed senior high school, and there's nothing for them to do. This is their reason, and it's a strong reason. So I want to ask you, what is your reason exactly? Why do you want to study outside? Don't be like most people who don't have any reason in particular. We have a few number of people on the continent, maybe in Africa or Asia, that they are probably living comfortable and they don't have any strong reason to travel outside, to study outside. Because of this, when the rejections come, I always tell people, of course, I can tell you stories about how easy it is to apply. Yeah, it could be easy, but I will never leave the part out, the hard part. Writing to about 8 schools and 10 schools, and maybe you might not hear from any of them. Sending cold emails to hundreds of professors and you hear nothing. That is that part I'm talking about. I want you to be aware. If you are able to set your reasons right, if you are able to convince yourself that, okay, I think I need more opportunities to make more money, to take care of myself and my family. If you write those reasons down and paste them beside your bed, you look at it each and every day and you tell yourself, I'm not giving up until I get scholarship. You will get it. I want you to get that before we go into the other part. First reason, before you start applying for scholarship, I want you to write down your reasons. Yes, I'm waiting for you. Write it down before we continue. Now that you have been able to convince yourself that going to study abroad is imperative, it's important for your future career, or maybe for the next goal in life, now that you have told yourself that you have to apply for scholarship, by all means, I think you are ready. The next important thing that you have to know before you apply. Reason number 2, there are some documents which are so fundamental that they should be there right with you before you start everything. The first one is your passport. You need to have your passport with you. Check your passport and see, is your passport expiring? If it's expiring, probably you have to, go and renew it. You don't want to start the process and maybe somewhere 2-3 months and your passport is expired. If you do that, you might bring a lot of delay. You might be delayed, because now the university might not be able to work with your documents. So they have to send you back and renew it. But I don't know where you are from, but there are some places in Africa that if you decide to get a passport, it takes a long time. My advice is that, find your way around. I know some people that they just, kind of connections. Try and see if there is a way for you to get your passport as early as possible. Do it. Don't be like me. When I was applying for, scholarship, it's funny, I didn't have passport at all. And I tried to go the normal way. So I went to the passport office. I put in my application. They told me after 3 months, come here for your passport. After 3 months, I went there to check and they said, come back later after a month. So the 4th month I went, it wasn't 5th, 6th, 7th month. My passport wasn't ready and the time was so close. It took a huge intervention for me to get my passport in 3 days by seeing the right people. My advice to you is that if you don't have a passport, or if your passport is old and you have to renew it, then probably just find your own way and get it as early as possible. If you have your passport, the next document that you should have is your tertiary certificate. If you've completed university, then at this point you should have your results. Your degree should be with you, and not only your degree, but the transcript is very important. The transcript is more like a detail of what you studied. The university, they look at your transcript and they see and compare if you are truly eligible for the program you are applying to. Get your degree ready, get your transcript, and get your GPA. Yes, you might be coming from a country that has a different GPA system from the United States or United Kingdom or Canada. If that is the case, try and convert your GPA to the American or the British system. Wherever you are applying to, convert it. Get your GPA from your university and convert it. It will help you a lot. Because if you don't do it and you send your GPA directly, they might not be able to calculate it and you might have an issue. So get your degree, get your transcript. And my advice also to those who studied in other languages apart from English, make sure that you translate your documents and certify them. Now that we have reason number 2 settled, let's go to the third reason. And that is your finances. Of course, we need to figure this out. Before we begin the process, at least we should be able to have a right estimation of, the total expenses. But for the start, we can look at our visa application fee. Depending on your country, your visa application might be a little different. But the last time I checked, it was around $120. So yeah, maybe if you are from West Africa, it could be around $120 and maybe $120 and $200. But check the embassy website in your country to find out. Apart from the visa, we have something we call service fee. Although you don't have to pay the service fee at the start, but you need to pay before you take your visa interview. And the service fee, also the last time I checked, was around $360. Yeah, so now $120 for the visa application fee, $360 for the service fee. And we can look at the exam that we have to take. If you are lucky enough to have studied in English, then you might be lucky because there are some universities in the United States that waive the English exams so that you don't have to take TOEFL. But you need to cross-check the requirements of the university if they waive it for your country. If they do, then you don't have to worry about the TOEFL exam. If they don't, then you have to factor that in. And the exams is also around probably $215. Then comes the big elephant in the room, the GRE exams. Guys, don't be afraid when you hear about the GRE. It's nothing but mathematics. All you need is time to prepare. We can go into details later, but it's the normal algebra and a little bit, but nothing like calculus. Simple mathematics, but you have to use common sense. And calculators are not allowed during the GRE. The GRE is also around $215. So now the visa fee is $120. The service fee is around $360. The GRE and the TOEFL, each one is around $215. I recommend that before you start your application process, please make sure you have enough to cover the bases. They are the basis. You need to have this money. Besides these things, we have what we call application. It's funny, but there are a lot of money that as an international student you have to pay. Each school that you are going to apply to also has an application fee. Normally, the range of application is around $80 to $150. I think the highest application fee that I've ever seen is around $150. But you never know, it could be more. You need to check out from the university that you want to apply to. Okay, these are the things that you need to budget for. At least we talked about 5 things: your visa application fee, your service fee, your TOEFL fee, your GRE fee, and this last fee, which is your application fee. Depending on the number of schools that you want to apply to, your application fee could be astronomical. Let us assume that on average we are paying $100 for each application, and you want to apply to 5 schools. You make the calculations. Yeah, but the truth is that the more schools you apply to, the better your chances of getting in. If you apply to only one school, there's a high chance of you not getting. But I recommend that you apply to about 3, 4 before you even begin your application. Please make sure that financially you are sound. Make sure that you can take care of these. Hello guys, the next reason, what program can I apply to? I think this in part depends on your degree. So I'll ask you, what do you have? Whatever you can apply to most of the time depends on your degree. So let's say that you already have a first degree in electrical engineering, then obviously applying to electrical engineering programs is the way to go. Sometimes in the application process, some schools do allow you to have a certain degree of freedom. For example, you have a first degree in electrical engineering, you are allowed to apply to maybe computer engineering or even computer science. And there is a particular reason why they do that. They are almost in the same faculty. They take a lot of the courses together. So once you want to change your field a little bit from electrical to computer science, there are some few courses that you just need to take and you'll be all right. But going wayward, like going straight from electrical engineering to do masters in statistics, that is too wide and it might not be possible. What can happen is that if you apply to programs that are way off beyond your domain, there are higher chances that you will be rejected. My advice to you is that look at your degree. If you have a degree in economics, then look at programs in the domain of economics. It is higher for you to be accepted in those programs. If you have a degree in education, look at programs in those domains. So what you have most of the time determines what you can apply to. And my advice is that apply to courses that are very similar to the degree that you have to boost your application in general. Then I think we can straight away go into where should you apply to study. Now, this is $1 million question. If you don't take care, you'll be political. If you ask me, I will say, why would you apply to any other place apart from the United States? But I'm just being biased. There are great places that you can apply to study. You can apply for your graduate studies. United States is there, of course, but United Kingdom is also there. Canada, one of my favorite places. It's a nice place to study. I've heard of Australia, but I don't know much about it. I have a friend who studied at Germany, and according to what he told me, it looks like Germany is a nice place to study. So for this question, where to study, I think you can look around. You can look at Europe, Netherlands. At the end of the day, I believe that you just want a place that is better than where you are right now. My advice is that look at countries that are doing well. Look at Canada, look at UK, look at United States, look at Europe, look at Australia. Yes. If you are considering studying in Europe, then I recommend you take a look at Germany and, Italy. Most of the countries in Europe allow international students to study in English, as far as I know. Just look around and see a place that, even Sweden. Sweden, I heard, is a nice place. Take a look. Look at what will help you. There is no specific place that is better. But, look at the countries, search on the internet and see if you like them. Then go ahead and apply. Applying for scholarship to study abroad can be a difficult task when you don't know what to do. I mean, how do you start? How do you apply to the programs? How do you find yourself a supervisor? How do you get funding? What are the types of funding? Partial funding, full funding? I mean, what can you make for your travel plans? How do you get a roommate? these are difficult situations and I understand, but I've done it and I want to help you do it. Follow me, share and subscribe so that you don't miss any important video.